Ready?
Okay, I just hit record.
So good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for our first virtual Lunch and Learn of 2021. I am Heather Pitts, Executive Director with the Drumheller and District Chamber of Commerce. And as Marley noted, this session today is being recorded. So just a couple of other housekeeping items. Please mute yourself so as to minimize any background noises. I am getting a little bit of sound. I'm not sure where it's coming from. But if you could just mute yourself, that would help us greatly. And also, if you have a question, please submit them in the chat box and we will ensure they are asked at the end of the presentation. And at this time, I'd also like to introduce Marley Henney, our Office and Chamber Services Coordinator, who will be managing our chat box this afternoon and all the tech stuff. So now I am pleased to introduce Sagan Gordon, Program Coordinator with MH Enterprises. Sagan is joining us today to provide information on the current programs available to employers through MH Enterprises. So a big welcome to Sagan. I think you should be made co-host so you can share your slides, and for everyone else, the slides will be available to all attendees at the end of the presentation. If you would like to access them after, we will have them available. So with that, I will pass it over to Sagan.
Sorry, guys. Thanks so much, Heather. Good to kind of sort of see all of you. I think I know everybody on the call today. We've chatted at one point or another throughout the years. I'm also excited to introduce a new member to MH's team. She's showing up as Sagan Gordon today, but it's actually Christine Bellingham, and she is the Youth and Employment Skills Strategy Coordinator. So we're super excited to have Christine on our team. She has a background in public health, and she was working in a school setting for her previous role. So she brings with her a lot of knowledge on mental health supports and works really well with our youth, who is now comprising a large number of our clients. So if anybody is looking for supports, they can always call here, and Christine is a great resource to connect to. So thanks, Christine. Do you want to say anything? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Sagan, for introducing me. I'm actually the real Sagan, so don't be fooled. I'm just kidding. So yeah, I'm just really excited to get to know everybody in the community. I'm new to the community. I moved from White Court, so I'm really looking forward to connecting with all of you guys and hopefully connecting to the youth in our community and also encouraging them to connect to employment. So I'm really looking forward to being here. So thank you for having me on this call today.
Thank you, Christine. Okay, so we'll get started. Kind of a general outline of today. I'm going to try not to yammer on too much because I know you guys are all busy and you probably want to eat lunch and go about your day. So I'll give you a bit of background about MH Enterprises, talk about some of our government partnerships, current programming that we have, and why some of the programming we have can be super helpful to your business. As well as discussing some of our community successes and other government funding we have available to you. So I'm sure most of you know MH Enterprises as, the place to go to get your resume, to look for a job, and so forth. But what I want to focus on today is actually how we can serve you as an employer. We're always here to help people look for work. We're always here to help them engage in training opportunities and get them a fresh resume and provide coaching and guidance. But what is it specifically that we do for employers is going to be the main goal of today. So MH Enterprises is proud to have helped hundreds of Drumheller and area residents develop successful life habits, engage in training, connect to new careers, develop important job search skills and community connections. But you know, maybe you didn't know this, maybe you did. A large degree of our focus has been assisting rural area employers obtain, train, and retain qualified staff. So our programming is delivered to Drumheller, Three Hills, Trochu, Stettler, and kind of anywhere in between. So, you know, if you're in Delia, Morin, Carbon, anywhere, we can help you out. And I'll save questions probably for the end. So if you have any questions, feel free to just kind of hold on to them, write them down, and then we can go over them at the end of the presentation. I want to try to allow for as many questions as possible. So just hang tight and we'll get there. So the partnerships we've established enable us to provide the services we have to people free of charge. So this is super important because I'm sure some of you know that if you're looking at connecting to a recruitment firm or something like that, a private company, there is often a charge, whereas our partnerships with the province of Alberta and the government of Canada enable us to provide services free of charge. And this is allowing us to provide programming to rural Alberta residents and business owners. And one of our main goals is to keep funding in rural communities. I'm sure all of you know the struggle that is unique to rural communities, and we want to represent that. When there's programs available, we want them to be in our communities. So quick snapshot of the programming we have available. I'm just trying to see who's, on the call right now. I do believe a lot of you have used programs with us in the past, so you're probably fairly aware of what exists, but we have 3 main programs at current, and our programs are always evolving and changing based on the funding we've acquired. So at this current moment, we have a provincial government funded program, which is the one-on-one employment services program, and 2 federal programs. So we have Opportunities Now and the Youth Employment Skills Strategy. So we'll go over some program highlights, starting with our provincially funded one-on-one program. This program and all programs are always client-driven. So what that means is that we aim to get job seekers connected with the right opportunities. Having said that, we realize the importance of supporting our local business community. And so there's a number of things that each program has that is specific to you as an employer. With the one-on-one program, we have a job placement services component, which basically allows us to work directly with you as an employer to find the right person for what you need. So what this would involve would be you calling here, wanting to post a job or wanting to have vetted resumes given directly to you. So say you don't want to advertise, you'd prefer that we do all the pre-screening, we find a short list of candidates and then provide them to you. So that you don't have to worry about monitoring your Indeed account and taking resumes, sifting through them. We can do all of that for you. If you give us your wish list, we can try to find the perfect candidate and then give you, 5, 10 resumes that you have to go through rather than 30, 40. So trying to make it as easy as possible on business owners so they don't have to spend their time, energy, and focus on trying to do the tedious admin tasks that are sometimes involved in posting jobs. So basically what you can do is we can be as involved as you want us to be. Like I say, give us a call, let us know what you're looking, and we can give you kind of a game plan of what we can do for you. We also have funding available for any training you may need for a new hire. So what this looks like, I'll give you an example, is the commissioners at the penitentiary have been hiring a number of security guards, but there is a gap in that not a lot of individuals seeking employment currently have that certification. So The recruitment agency that we're working with is interviewing people and determining that they're a good fit personality-wise, background-wise, and then we can provide them with the training free of charge. So for different organizations, it's going to look different. Maybe it's first aid, maybe it's food safe, maybe it's a bookkeeping course. Whatever it is, it's really open-ended. So you can send them to us first. We would require a letter stating we want to hire so-and-so, but under the condition that they obtain this training prior to. And then I would go ahead, enroll them in the training, and then they'd be ready to go when they started with your organization. So it's really kind of comprehensive funding, in that each person has up to $2,500 per year. So this has to be somebody who's unemployed or underemployed. So it can be somebody working with your organization who requires training to, continue on or enhance the number of hours that they're working. So I kind of touched on it before. We also help create job postings and monitor applications through our online job board. I do a lot of, we call it the hidden job market placements, where you just call me and say, I need so-and-so, this is what I want. Can you please find them? And then I'll look through the candidates that we have on file and then submit directly to you. And then we also provide on-the-job mediation supports to ensure that a new hire is a good fit. So sometimes you hire somebody and they're having life struggles, and you as an employer you don't have the time to work with that person through those things. We can help with that. Something that comes to mind is assisting someone with child subsidy applications, so that they can ensure that their child has funded daycare or other child care services, which will then just mean that they can focus on the job they're doing rather than being called away because the babysitter canceled or kid's sick or what have you. And then we can also provide some other HR functions, possible succession and retention planning. So that's kind of the one-on-one program. Like I say, it's very specific to you as an employer, and then we try to match you with somebody who is going to work out for you for the role you're seeking. Moving along, we will discuss the federally funded Opportunities Now program. This program has been super awesome in equipping our people with disabilities with meaningful employment. So I just want to quickly state that someone with a disability, maybe in past there's been stigma associated with those with disabilities. Now it's literally just about everybody has a hidden disability, and you may not know it, and it doesn't necessarily impact their ability to do a job really, really well. For instance, I myself probably have ADHD, but it's maybe not confirmed. So these are the types of people you'd be looking for. Somebody who has dyslexia, anxiety, depression, ADD, ADHD, any type of learning disability. A lot of people have a disability with math and go on to have great careers. Math is not a strong suit for them. So one of the things that we've been able to do through this program is educate employers on what is a disability and how valuable it is to have people with disabilities in your organization. The program also provides a wage reimbursement to an employer while the new hire is undergoing on-the-job training. So a number of employers have used this program for part-time staff, because the program does fund up to 20 hours per week for 3 months in duration, and our contribution is $15 an hour. So let's say that you own a hotel and you want to hire a part-time housekeeper, and you find a perfect person who meets all the eligibility criteria for this program. We would then reimburse you for those hours worked for the first 3 months of their employment. So it can definitely help because training is so time consuming for other staff. This kind of offsets that cost for your organization. We also will provide funding to the person for a number of things to help detract from any kind of issues that they might have keeping their employment. So again, childcare, we provide some mileage reimbursement so that they can get to work on time. We would provide cab fare. We also provide counseling. So if somebody presents and states that they have anxiety, what we'll do is we will provide some counseling to them free of charge through Wheatland Community Counseling. So then this is going to help them long term. They're going to develop tools to deal with some of their issues around anxiety, and then hopefully you will have a long-term employee. So I'm not sure if there's any questions at this point, or if I should just rattle on. Okay.
None in the chat box yet, but I suppose if anybody had one at the moment and wanted to just say it, they could probably go ahead.
Okay.
Actually, sorry, Sagan, I had one question about the one-on-one employment services. Is there a minimum of training hours for the reimbursement? Like you mentioned first aid as an example, so I want to say, like, is it more than, like, say 5 hours worth of training or anything like that?
Basically, it's kind of case by case, but typically it's like 2 weeks full-time, 6 weeks part-time. But if it's an online course, we can look at it, and let's say it's 120 hours, we could absolutely fund that for a person. Okay. Because it's not considered like a long-term course like a college certificate program would be.
Right.
So there's no minimum, but there is a maximum.
Sure. Thanks.
You bet. All right. Okay. So opportunities now, like I say, it's super easy to be enrolled in this program as an employer. Let's just say that you're looking for staff. You can let me know what you're looking for. Let me know that you'd like to use a wage subsidy program. And when I find the right person, or you find the right person and refer them to me, we will make sure that we can find whatever program is going to work for you and that individual. So typically what I tell people is don't worry about fitting them into a box. If you want to hire somebody, send them to us and say, do they qualify for a program? And then we'll kind of appraise that, let you know the options that are available to you. And then the signing up process is really easy, kind of easier than it's ever been. The next program is funded again by the federal government, and this is our Youth Employment and Skills Strategy Program, or our acronym is YES. So this is the YES program. This again provides reimbursement to you as an employer while your new hire is undergoing training, and the funding available is $15 per hour for up to 35 hours per week. And again, this is 3 months. So Opportunities Now is a part-time program, and the YES program is full-time. So, and you're always welcome to top somebody up if you want to pay them $18 an hour. We will still cover the $15 an hour, no matter what you're paying them. So this program is available for people 15 to 30 years of age. So that covers a pretty wide range. One thing about this program to keep in mind is that it is not Canada Summer Jobs. So you wouldn't be using this for summer employment unless the person is not connected to school, returning in the fall. So let's just say if it's a high school kid who is on summer break and planning to go back to grade 12 next year, this program, wouldn't necessarily be the the right program to use, you would be looking at a Canada Summer Jobs program instead. This is for more long-term employment. Somebody who, let's say, is 17 years old and not planning on returning to school in September semester could use this program. And if they end up going back to school, that's fine. We can't predict the future, but it's not necessarily the intent here. This program is good because it helps ensure that our rural labor market is sustainable by equipping our youth with important employment skills. So a lot of people actually have started in a program similar to this that was available in past years. It was called SkillsLink. Even people that work at our office now were in SkillsLink a couple of years ago, and it's kind of kickstarted their career. So this is the same idea. And again, with the YES program, there's always going to be ongoing mediation and support for new hires. So let's say that you have somebody in the YES program, they come on board with you, you really like them, but they're having personal issues, they're not showing up on time, or there's something going on that you're not quite 100% happy with them about. We can always try to work with the individual and yourself to make sure it's a success. So maybe they just haven't disclosed to you that they're going through some stuff at home. We can provide them with counseling or support or just like a nice listening ear, and then try to make sure that they're going to be successful in their employment. And it also provides access to support such as, you know, childcare, living expenses, clothing costs. So if somebody needs to get a whole new wardrobe to start their job, we can help them acquire the things that they need. If they need tuition, so, you know, food safe, first aid, bookkeeping courses, we can pay for those things, counseling. It's super comprehensive. And what I typically tell employers and our clients is if you think of something that will help you be successful in your job, just ask, and there's a good probability that we can help you get it through the funding that we have available, as long as it's falling within that program mandate, of course. So why connect to us at MH Enterprises? Because it is hard. I think everybody knows as a business owner, it's kind of hard to find staff in the current labor market, and having somebody to kind of take some of those administrative tasks off your hands can provide a little bit of relief and make it a little bit easier for you. You're not spending your entire life conducting interviews and sifting through resumes and making callbacks. Also, obviously, as you all know, it's a pretty difficult climate economically. So having that funded training and the wage subsidy available to you is going to help your business reduce costs. If you can get 3 months funded to offset the high cost of training someone, why wouldn't you? Kind of in today's economic climate, like I say, it's going to be helpful, and it's going to help an individual get a job and possibly build a career. And navigating government funding can also be tricky. So at MH Enterprises, this is kind of what we do. So if you're ever needing help support on what funding's available for what you need, just give us a call, and 9 times out of 10, we can connect you to a program either through us or through another organization that meets your needs. And we like to kind of pride ourselves on supporting employees through difficult life events and equipping them with strategies in order to uphold their employment obligations. So again, we're super client focused. We get it that owning a business has its unique challenges. So we don't want you guys to have to be, you know, coddling, I guess, for lack of a better term, your staff. You can always refer them here, and then we can help them work through whatever barriers they might have, so you don't have to. And in finding ways to help you meet your staffing needs, we're going to go above and beyond to do so. I try to find a solution for every employer that calls that's going to be beneficial to you. Like I say, if it's not through the programming we have available, we can refer you to another organization that has something for you. And we're going to take a personalized approach. So there's never going to be a cut and dry, this person is going to have this and this is that. It's always going to be unique to your business. So if ever you have questions, you can always call and we can do some brainstorming together and come up with a good plan for you that's going to A, reduce your costs, and B, help you find the right people for your organization. So just want to touch on a couple community successes. So we've assisted, as I've said, a lot of area employers in recruiting, hiring, training, and maintaining staff through our various programming. Some of you are on the call. I know that you've used the programs in the past, and I think that you can report that they've been fairly successful, or at least I hope you do report that. And we want to continue that because everybody that works here lives in Drumheller or area, and we want rural Alberta to continue to be sustainable. We want to see businesses thriving. We want to see our downtown core busy. We want to see, you know, people getting jobs and building long-term careers here so that they stick around for quite some time. So that's kind of our focus. And another success that we've noted is that in past years, programs could be kind of taxing on employers, a lot of paperwork, a lot of approval processes that take way too long to be signed off on. Now it's super, super easy. It's a matter of you tell me you want to hire somebody, refer them to me to enroll in a program, and within the day we can have them going in a program. So that's a big win because it used to take like a month, 2 weeks, and sometimes businesses just don't move that slow. Government processes might, but businesses typically are going a little bit quicker. And reinvesting in local. Because we have so much funding available for things like materials and supplies, clothing, training, we try to keep those funds in our local community. So if I need somebody, or if I need something for a person, let's just say it's masks to start their job or clothes, I'm going to refer them to a local service provider rather than directing them online. So we've worked a lot with some of the training providers here in town, Drumheller Community Learning Society, React Safety, Mark's Work Warehouse, just to keep funds in the community, local hairdressers. As much as we can keep it in Drumheller, we're going to keep it in Drumheller because, again, we see the importance of keeping things in our local community. Another success is the community connections to all of you. I've, didn't even know most people in Drumheller before I started working here. And it's been very important to me to reach out to businesses and make sure that you guys are aware of what funding is available to you so that if you can reduce costs in any way possible, that you're able to do so. Also, just some I know everybody's tired of hearing about COVID-19, but we did have a couple notable successes throughout the pandemic that we wanted to share. Being, we were on the economic development. Now I'm going to butcher what it was actually called. Marley, you may have to help me. The Relief Committee.
Economic Recovery Task Force.
That's right. Yes. So trying to help people work through some of the difficulties faced at the onset, as well as we help people connect to EI and CERB, which was a huge demand in the community, and there was literally no one to do that. So that was something that we helped out with. And then also providing a lot of mental health support outside of our usual funded programming, just essentially checking in on our people, saying, how are you doing? And trying to ensure that the restrictions that were in place didn't perpetuate existing mental health concerns. made a lot of referrals to counseling agencies during this time as well. And the last couple of years have been interesting in that they've presented significant challenges to the world. It's changing rapidly, as we all know. So a lot of individuals are having a hard time navigating the technology that has kind of evolved over the last little while. So we've been providing a lot of tech support and information to people who can't otherwise navigate some of the online job searches and government programs that require you to build a profile online and so on. And we're seeing a lot of displaced oil field workers. So we're, kind of catering our services to some of them, as well as a lot of individuals over the age of 55. So it's changing all the time, and we're trying to change with it and make sure that job seekers and employers' needs are always being met. So other government funding available that can assist you in obtaining information and access to other employment related funding. Some of you may be familiar with the Canada Alberta Job Grant. So what that is that's a professional development job grant that basically cost shares training for staff. So let's just say I myself wanted to take a course. The government would fund 2/3 of the course, whereas my employer would pay the extra third. So there's a application process involved in it, and you can get that application through the link, or you can just Google Canada Alberta Job Grant, and then it'll show you the criteria, and then it'll give you an application guide. But it's very helpful if somebody's looking for a high level training, like say a certificate through a post-secondary institution or a diploma, because I believe the max funding is 15,000. So it's a little bit more than what we would offer through our short courses through the one-on-one program. And the other program, which I'm sure you guys are all very interested in, is the Canada Summer Job Grant. And that is one of those things, it has a long application form, but it's well worth it if you can take the time to go through it. I know the deadline is looming. I think it's on January 29th. So if you are looking for summer staff, I urge you to complete the application for the summer job grant and try to get that in place so that you know that you have it. And then if for any reason you're unsuccessful in that, or you do get it and you need more staff than you think, I'm sure that we can find a wage subsidy program that's going to work for you between the two federal ones that we have here. So Canada Summer Job Grant, definitely get on that sooner rather than later, because it's typically more cumbersome than you think it will be. Unfortunately, we can't walk you through the entire application, but I'm more than happy to provide any kind of guidance, direction, support, whatever you might need to get that done, because I know it is a quick turnaround. And then by the time you finished it, you'll have forgotten about it, and then they'll let you know that either you have it or you don't, and then you can kind of plan for your summer. But because a lot of you are in the tourism hospitality industry, I imagine that you're looking to ramp up in summer, and that would be a good option for you for sure. So just a shout out, thanks to our government funders, so the Government of Canada and the Province of Alberta, for enabling us to offer these programs. Again, for a time, funding was reallocated to urban centers, and we didn't have the youth program, and some of the offerings were limited. So we're super excited to have that back again, so that our rural people can develop their careers as well. And if you ever want to get in touch, feel free, call, email. You can't knock on the door anymore, but maybe soon. Come right in and see us. We're always happy to answer questions. No matter what they are, we'll kind of try to steer you in the right direction. And that's kind of all I have for the presentation, but I did want to kind of have a rousing few minutes of questions if anybody has them.
So again, I got one question submitted. Actually, it's a two-part question, and I think you essentially just answered it 2 slides ago, but I'll ask it again just to clarify, because it's a good two-part question. So they'd asked if you can help with the Canada Summer job application, and you had said you can't fill it out for a business, but you can help them if they've got questions, most likely.
Yeah, for sure. Like the last couple of years, people have questions because it's, I think, maybe a little bit more comprehensive than it's been in the past, where it asks you about like your health and safety plan and your HR policies and different things like that, that maybe some of you as small businesses don't necessarily have in place. Just give us a shout, and you can ask for me and I'll help you kind of get a game plan, maybe even give you some templates you can use to fill in some of that information.
Okay.
Like I said, yeah, we can't fill it out for you and do the whole process, but I'm certainly more than happy to give direction.
Yeah, but templates I'm sure are helpful for people too, so that's great. The second part of the question was, can you clarify which program high school students would fall into? And it sounds like you recommended that they try Canada Summer Jobs first.
Yes, that's what I would do. If you know you're going to be recruiting a lot of people in summer, I would apply for the Canada Summer Jobs and then keep that in your back pocket. But you can always utilize programs through us if for any reason you don't get Canada Summer Jobs. And you can use multiple too. You can use Canada Summer Jobs and programs through MH. So you could use 3 government programs to hire staff. It's just a matter of what is the person who you want to bring on needing, and how do they fit into the programs we have. I hope that answers the question. So high school students could fit into the YES program as long as they're graduating this year and don't plan on returning to school.
Yeah, sounds like that covered it. Any other questions?
I don't see any other in the chat box. Marley, do you?
I had a general question just out of curiosity. Do you have like an estimate of how long generally it takes to fill a job that's been posted on your job board, or is it all over the map depending on different industries?
It's kind of all over the map, to be quite honest. It just depends on, again, who's looking right now, who's moving to town and presents themselves. But typically, you know, I would say it's no more than 2 weeks for most job postings. Also, I should note that there are a lot of individuals moving from urban centers, so there's a little bit unique skill set in Drumheller now. A lot of people coming with backgrounds in writing, sales, oil and gas, accounting. So it's kind of changing. I don't know if that's really applicable to a lot of you who most likely will be filling more entry-level jobs, but there are some professionals moving to town that kind of creates a little bit of a change in the labor market.
Definitely interesting to know. Thanks for that information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does anyone else have questions that you want to bring up? Just jump in.
Maybe, Sagan, do you have any other examples of what businesses have used that the up to 2,500 training fund for? Just out of curiosity.
Sure.
I know you mentioned.
Yeah, so I mentioned the security training courses, but a lot of them have used it for oil field tickets, right? So somebody needs to, they have a job, they just need their tickets. So I would ask for email, letter, whatever you can get in writing, and then I can pay for first aid H2S Alive. But there's some stuff through Olds College as well. Standalone courses through the continuing ed department that can be used to combine to one big certificate. We can pay for, 2 or 3 out of a 5 course certificate.
Excellent.
Yes. So if you were, say, going to be working with a financial institution and they wanted you to have 3 accounting principles courses, I could pay for all 3. And if there was 2 more to equal a certificate, then, it at least reduces cost a little bit.
Great. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions yet. So yeah, I will share those slides from that presentation out and the recording of this after the fact. And that will include your contact information where people can reach out to you or Christine or whoever else at MH and they need to chat with you.
Sounds great. Yeah, anytime anybody wants to call, we're all pretty knowledgeable about all the programs. So call us up, anything you need, we are more than happy to help.
And you'd said open by appointment currently, is that correct?
Yes, you bet. So as long as you're downstairs in the lobby and you call ahead, we can let you in if you needed something and wanted to chat. We're not going to hold you hard and fast to the
appointment rule.
Notice, yeah.
Okay.
And thanks so much for organizing this, Heather and Marley. Appreciate it.
Awesome. We appreciate your time. It was lots of great info that you were able to provide. And I know from personal experience, all the great services that you guys provide there to employers. And we're very fortunate to have these services in our community, as you noted. And, like I said, we've used your services, and I would encourage other employers to do the same and reach out to you. So thank you again for your time, and welcome to Christine, to the MH team as well. I look forward to meeting you in person. Okay.
Thank you.
If everyone's ready to go, we'll give you a few minutes back in your lunch hour, and we'll call it a day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks all. Have a good afternoon.